gives the focus on time. Everything is related with the time. So just in time, this is a production system that relies on actual order. When the actual order incurred, it should be made that time only. So we can see in a picture the customer who wants the product, so he should order that product, and after his order, that supplies will start running and production line take place, and then only the right product at right time should be delivered. So this means that the raw material, components, work in progress, and finished item, everything, stock, every can be kept as a required quantity. Whenever it is in a requirement, that only can be ordered. So there is a need for scheduling. We should have that schedules, how it will go according to the order. The production line or the production system, how it will work as per the demand of customers. So in just-in-time strategy, companies may typically save a lot of money by using a just-in-time inventory and product handling method. Here, as per the requirement, we are ordering the material. So we can think about like only when supplies are required, they are delivered to the production line. Whenever it is required, then it is delivered. We can see in the picture some areas are there, how the delivery process is going to take. Okay, so customers may place an order. After that, inventory manager contact to the suppliers. Then suppliers deliver the things to the production line, and after completion of product, that delivery process is taking place and reaching to the customer. So the just in time is a customer to customer service. When customer started it from placing an order and customer reaching the product at his place. So this is how we can say, with an example, a bike manufacturing factory, for example, might receive exact the proper amount and kind of tires for 1 day's production. Suppose if in a 1 day, bike manufacturing factory manufacture 100 bikes, so each bike requires at 2 tires. So that means 100 bikes multiplied by 2 tires, it will be 200 tires is the demand for a day. In a production line, 200 tires are required for manufacturing or completing the 100 bikes. So as per the requirement, the exact amount should be ordered for a day, and as per the requirement, days wise we can answer for another day. So for 1 day's production, the supplies would be expected to deliver them the correct loading bay on the production line within a very tight time frame. At what time it should be reached, and how much delivery time will take, and after that how much processing time will take. So after completion of processing of first thing, how we are going to order for the next level. So companies are ordering or keeping focus on their inventories. Unnecessary inventory ordering is to be avoided. So inventory costs are significant part of a company's operation cost. So particularly in manufacturing thing, we should focus that how much raw material is required. It should not get wasted. It should not be shortage, because both the things will lead to towards the loss or the additional cost going to be incurred because of the extra storage and shortage of storage. So by keeping your inventory to a minimum, you can save money. So economic order quantity, we have studied about this concept. So just in time, that gives a variety of systems are required to support a just in time strategy. Kanban is the most notable. This is a Japanese method of guaranteeing that inventory or product is available at all times. So here the availability of product is at all time. So this is the Japanese concept. As we studied each and every concept, that came from the Japanese. They are focusing on the quality product at cost conscious. So cost reduction, cost control in every area. We find that the Japanese concepts are being there delivered. So this Japanese method, that Kanbans were created to aid in a just-in-time process. A Kanban is a visible signal that is time to restock and maybe replenish stock. So Kanban is this is a situation when we need to replenish or purchase order and ask for a stock and utilize the requirement of stock, the inventory turnover. So just in time is also used with continuous improvement program. It is a part of continuous improvement program. What we studied, Kaizen model. So it is a part of continuous improvement program. Total quality management and Six Sigma are broad programs that helps you examine every step of the manufacturing process in detail and discover areas for improvement. What we studied in cost control system or any other system, the Kaizen model, TQM, total quality management. So everything is going with hand in hand, which gives the result of ultimate quality at lowest cost, by spending lowest amount of cost on this. So just in time is to be used with continuous improvement program. It allows you to keep an eye on production process at all time. So you have always focus on production process, how the production process is taking place, whether the material is there, whether the orders are there, and how we are going to tie up the knot between them. So because of just in time is a means to scatter throughout the organization, it can have a wide range of effect via improving procedure. When lean manufacturing is prioritized, system tends to become simpler and more predictable. Just in time focusing on make a system as simple as possible and more predictable, how we can predict on the future production line. So just in time enhance efficiency in a variety of ways, in multiple ways. It enhances the efficiency from huge from how product travels through the facility to techniques to encourage workers involvement in system design. So how the just in time works, we need to understand. Now here we are going with the next slide. So these are few advantages and disadvantages of just in time. So just in time is an inventory management system. It is clear idea about the inventory management system, which aims at procuring raw materials and labor. The focus of just in time is to procure raw material and labor as and when required without investing in storing it. So without investing much on raw material and labor, so this is a process where we are utilizing effective way for the material as well as the labor whenever requirement is there. So the advantages we need to understand about reduction. Advantages are given: reduction cost on storage of raw materials. As you know, the stock holding expenses are kept to a bare minimum with just-in-time manufacturing. We are not at all spending much money on stock holding, the required or the limited stock being there in process. So release of storage space leads to a higher space use, which has a positive influence on the rent paid and insurance premium that would otherwise be required. Suppose if we are carrying huge amount of stock, we need to take insurance of it, we need to pay the premium on that much amount of inventory, as well as we require a space. So for that we need to pay the rent. So whether that rent and the insurance is really needed, or we can manage it as per the requirements of the limited stock holding. So here we can reduce the cost of stock holding. How just in time helps us. Next is less investment in raw material. Obviously, there is no requirement to pay much on raw material. The required material being ordered. So just in time production eliminates the waste of removing out of date or expired product from the equations. So we are no need to spend much money on raw materials requirements. So less amount of raw materials required. Next is speed up manufacturing process as material available reality. So as per the requirement, whenever the material is being delivered to the product line, process line, so that process line being working as an effective way. So because many essential stocks are obtained using this method, procurement required less operating capital. So operating capital requirement will reduce. A minimum reorder level is established. The minimum reorder, how much order should be there? So reorder level has been reduced. So once that level is reached, making that a boon to inventory management as well. So it helps us just in time in this order. It leads eliminating the lead time, the ordering time, because we are focusing just in time as when the material required, that should be delivered on time, right place, right time. So that should be the demand pull basis. So because just in time manufacture operates on a demand pull basis, all things produced or sold on as per the requirement. So whenever the demands are there, as per demand, production line will work, and the result, the customer is already ordered that things, so that will be sold. So the production and sold process is ongoing, allowing to adapt fluctuations in demand with surprising ease. So this make it particular appearing in today's market when demand is variable and unpredictable. So whenever the demand is there, we'll be ready with the supplies. So after that supplies, we produce that material and deliver to the customer. So it helps in shorter production runs. So shorter times for the production process, it gives that advantages. So just in time production promotes the right first time idea, which reduce inspection and rework expenses. There will be the less inspection and rework expenses. It eliminate wastages in the items which are there engaged. So just in time production following this method can result in high quality products and increase efficiency. It gives the advantages to increase or enhance the efficiency. Just in time manufacturing system foster close ties throughout the production chain. So throughout the production chain, we have the just in time production process going on. Now, the customer satisfaction is a top priority, is high when there is a constant communication with the customer. When customer order the things as per the requirement of the customers, we are producing and delivering at the right time. So when just in time manufacturing is used, overproduction is being eliminated. Unnecessary overproduction, whenever it is happened, overproduction or there is no demand in the market, sometimes our stock is being idle, staying there in the go down, and we have to pay the go down rate as well as insurance charges or the security charges. Many things are engaging with the overproduction cost. So that can be eliminated with the help of just in time. These are the advantages while dealing in just in time. But there are some limitations, like disadvantages we can say, to leads to potential supply chains disruption. Yes, it might possible that every time it is not necessary that suppliers or any sort of things may be available on that time when it is required. So just-in-time manufacturing has a zero tolerance policy for mistake, since it's make rework extremely difficult in practice because inventory is kept to a minimum. We don't have that much inventory to make an experiment and getting failure into that. We don't have that much inventory in our hand. So we are trying to avoid reworks. So hence that time it might possible to avoid the rework, we may compromise the quality. So that sort of losses, limitations are there. Its manufacturers have no magic margin to make errors. This is how there is no scope for the errors. We can't afford to have errors because we have minimum material at our storage, so we can't waste it. So there is no margin for errors, that has to be there, otherwise we can't experience some things. Unable to meet unable to meet unexpected enders from the customers. Sometimes we are not being ready to reach up to the customer's requirement because of the limitations in material or the requirements. So no time for regenerations work customers. So sometimes we are not having that much time because the time constraint, material constraint is there, the limited amount of material being supplied or available for the production line. So they don't have the chances of errors. If there is any sort of mistake is taken place, will not able to satisfy our customer, we will not able to deliver the right product at right time. So there is a lot of reliance on supplies whose performance is usually out of the manufacturer's control. We can't control the supplier's uh, role because the supplier is outside external party. Here we can order him, but if he's failed to deliver on the right time, we will be in the loss of our customer satisfaction. Our customer will not get his product at the right time. So because there will be no buffer for delays or production downtime and line idle may occurs, putting a strain on finances and the production process equilibrium. So these are the limitations where we can't deal. We don't have the buffer space for the time. We don't have a time. We don't have a production downtime. We can't spend much material on other than requirements. So due to the lack of additional end items, the organization would be unable to meet an anticipated rise in demand. If suppose the demand is rises as proportionately, we can't rise our production. That is quite difficult to reach up to the requirement of the market or the customer, because transaction would be frequent, transaction cost would be quite high. As many as time we are ordering material, the ordering cost will be high. In just in time, we are controlling our inventory cost, but there will be no control of ordering cost, and that may lead to the increment in the production line. So that can be the cause for rise in the price or the cost. So just in time manufacturing may have some negative environment consequences due to frequent deliveries, which would result in higher transportation use, which would burn more fuels. So this is an environmental problem. So for our requirement, we are asking that demanding the supplies on requirement basis, and it will lead to maximum time of frequency that the transportation will burn more fossil fuel. So that will lead to the environmental problem due to us. This is also the part of organizations to take care of the environment while dealing with the quality, cost, but we must be focused on our environment related issues also that needs to be addressed by the organization. Now, accurate determination of demand, maximum coordination between department using Kanban system, etc. So success factors are that accurate determinants of demand, exact demand is need to be understand, meaning maximum coordination between departments. So the coordination should be the strongest point, and the demand determinants of the exact demand is necessity to reach for the success formula in just in time. What we need to understand while dealing, what kind of precaution or should we take while implementing just in time. While implementing just in time, we have discussed about the advantages as well as limitations or the disadvantages. If a just-in-time manufacturing system is to be successfully implemented, it will require management buy-in and support at all levels of company. Here, the just-in-time include each and every process within an organization. So that is more required while dealing with the just-in-time. Adequate resources should be set aside to obtain technological advancement or software which is normally required for successful just-in-time. The just-in-time is the latest technology. It requires technological support, and if we are providing the adequate resources for that, then there will be the chances of successful implementation of just-in-time, which will give you the better results as per the desired targeted things. So just-in-time manufacturing is not something that can be implemented immediately. No, it is a long-term process. It is so distinct from standard production techniques. It necessitates time commitment as well as organizational culture reforms. So here we need to reforms in various areas of organizations and as well as time commitment. How we are there in committing the time and how much we are delivering on time. So in order to accommodate just-in-time production, the design flow process must be modified and layout must be reformed. So we need to design or take a layout how the process or the production line will take place once the order is demanded from the customers, how that will be continue to the supplies, how that supplies will reach his material towards our production line, how the production line will take time to produce it, and how much time we are going to spend on delivering to the customer. So that much amount of work should be taken in a layout form. So lot sizes must be kept to a minimum. So we have to maintain a minimum stock and we should utilize effectively. Whenever possible, the capacity of workstation should be balanced. It should not be shorter or the greater one. So it should be balanced one as per the requirement or as per the demand supply. To avoid machine malfunction or prevent maintenance should be performed. We should focus that our material should not get shortage or excess. Our machine should be in a maintained form. It should not get breakdown during the production process line. So the maintenance, repairs and maintenance or upkeepment of the machinery should be on time to time basis, which will help us to deliver the product at right time and right place. Whenever possible, setup time should be cut. How much time we are spending on setting up the production machinery, how that setup time should get reduced, and that will enhance the productivity or the efficiency level. So next, the quality improvement program must be implemented in order to implement entire quality control techniques. So quality improvement program, which should be the continuous activity just in time. It is necessary to combine shorter lead time and more frequent deliveries. We should reduce the lead time of the when the material or supplies is coming towards us, and we should increase the frequency of deliveries. So that requires in a success of just in time. So many manufacturing companies have successfully applied the just in time manufacturing philosophy, and that needs to focus on these advantages, limitations, and the areas of operations which gives or leads to the best results of just in time. So this is how we should understand the concept of just in time. Now we should understand the performance measurement in just in time system. What sort of performances and how they have to be measured. So in just-in-time environment, several measurements that are used in traditional accounting system are not used. So here, the traditional accounting system and the modern concept of just-in-time are quite different. So new metrics that take advantages of the system's specific properties can be implemented. So in a typical system, machine utilization, for example, is an important metric. We are focusing on machine utilization. So this is used to guarantee that the company's assets are being fully utilized. So optimum utilization of resources with the help of understanding the concept in a matrix basis. So this is especially relevant where a significant amount has been invested in automation or massive high-speed machineries. Whenever we have invested on machineries, we need to focus that whether that machinery is actually performing up to the mark. So the method is different in just-in-time. The cost rule of just-in-time system is to produce only what is truly required. Only if it is required, then we have to deal into that. So let's see how the performance measurement in just-in-time system is being calculated or do. The first is inventory turnover. Inventory turnover stands for stock turnover. How many times the stock has been replaced? How many times the stock has been replenishing by the management? So the minimization of unnecessary inventory is one of the key goal of just-in-time system. We are trying to reduce or minimize the unnecessary, unrequired inventory, and so as a result, just-in-time inventory turnover is an appropriate performance metric. Raw materials, work in process, and finished goods can be separated into separate ratio with this metrics. So as per the requirement, inventory of raw materials, stock of raw materials, stock of work in progress, stock of finished goods. So three of them can be processed according to the requirements of the day. So that is what inventory turnover it need to be evaluated or measures while understanding the performance measurement in just-in-time. Then reduce setup time. The setup time, the average setup time per machine can be monitored and plotted on a trend line on a regular basis. We need to understand how much time each machine is taking place for setting up, and that setup time need to be maintained while plotting on trend lines. So we'll able to focus where the time is having more gap, time is having lag. So short setup intervals are critical for the success of short production runs. Hence, this is a key of just-in-time metric. It is preferable to measure its machine by machine rather than as total for all machines. So we are focusing on reducing setup time. So must be evaluate the time processing for setting up. Then customer complaint. Just in time, assume that the product is of the highest possible quality. As a result, client concern about the product issues should be investigated right away. The collection and transmission of customer complaints to management should be regarded as a crucial just-in-time step. So we need to understand that customer is at the top priority. So his complaints need to be addressed on time. If it is not being taking place, the just in time is not being working on successful operation. Then the scrap, the goal of just in time is to reduce material scrap rate. We are focusing on reducing material scrap. We don't want to make a wastages of material. As a just-in-time system is being implemented, the cost of scrap together altogether with the inventory product that destroy of spatial interest, as it aids in identifying problem areas that require more manager attention. We are measuring scrap, how that scrap is being taking place and how we can reuse it. That needs to be understood. That this is the way the scrap reduction, how we are measuring our performance in just in time. Next part is cost of quality. The quality, when working with just in time, it is important to keep track of the whole cost of quality. Quality includes reducing a defect cost, failure and lost sales on a train line. We have to focus on the cost of quality. Managers can use this data to determine where the company's highest quality costs still exist and to seek lower them, how we can reduce that quality cost. And that is how we are utilizing the cost of quality for performance measurement of just in time. Then the customer service, how we are dealing in customer service. This metric includes number one, a delivery product on date specified. This is a time, on the time, and as per the specification by customer, whether we are following the date or not. Then dispatching complete order to the customer as per the requirement or the quantity as demanded by the customer. That much quantity should be there. Or dispatching the complete order, lowering the rejection and returns. We are focusing on the quality product. So while dealing in a customer service, we are trying to find out there should not be the wastage or rejection from the customer. So we are avoiding defective pieces towards selling it to the customer. So this is how we can evaluate the performance. Then idea generated. Every concept of just in time or the Japanese technology are always focusing on Kaizen, continuous improvement. So idea generation, the just in time works best when employees make suggestions for improvement that when combined results in a great improved and efficient operation. The number of ideas per worker, the overall number of ideas recommended will be higher. The number of ideas implemented or the proportion of suggestion ideas that are implemented can all be used to gauge the quality of idea generation. So we need to focus on idea generation, how that will help to the organization. This is how we can evaluate the performance of just-in-time system with the help, or we can enrich the performance with the help of this point. We should focus the inventory turnover, reduce the setup time, customer complaints, scrap, reduce the cost of quality, customer services, and idea generated.